Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Siobhan Noel. And so I wanted to come on real quick and share with you all some thoughts or takeaways that I had from reevaluating or just thinking about some happenings that I experienced. And real quick, I'm gonna share a story while we kind of wait to see if a few people come on. But I was actually yesterday, Sunday, watching on Lifetime a movie called Believe, and basically we're just talking about believing in Santa or whatever it is that you choose to believe in for good happenings. And the city and the media and everybody was really just trying to make logic of this gentleman that had a nonprofit organization, and he was able to make all this miraculous happenings happen through the city for people for Christmas. And so I really applied that to some things that happen in day-to-day life or whatnot. Sometimes we are so busy trying to make sense of things or to try to find logic, and I mean, I think that could be human nature or maybe even closure or just why. And that can be important in some situations, but I want to encourage you to not get so caught up on trying to make logic of something. Some things are just what it is. It is what it is. And sometimes we can't always, there won't be an explanation for it. And that's okay. It really is. Some things are predestined for your life, for your story, your purpose. And so we have to learn to lean not unto our own understanding. Trust the process. Walk by faith and not by sight. We hear all those cliches, but I really wanted to encourage you to apply that. So a few examples that I thought of, just in general, not necessarily specific to me or whatnot, but sometimes, we may see another person and they've experienced motherhood or whatever the case is, or parenthood for men as well, and we're like, man, I've been wanting to have a child and I can't, and they can, and it's so unfair, and blase this, that, and the third. And it just might not be our time. Not to say it won't ever happen. So just trust the process. We also apply that to marriage and whatnot. We look at other people and they look so happy. And we're just like, man, how come they're married and I'm not? But they may not even be happy. So we can't spend so much time trying to evaluate other people around us and what's going on. Just trust the process. Your Prince Charming or your king or whoever is coming. Just trust the process. When it's time, it'll be time. And when it's not, that's okay too. Don't envy or look at that person and be like, wow, I wish I could get married too. I wish I had a husband too or a wife too. And you don't know what they go home to every night. They may be happily married, and I hope that for everybody, but they may not. And so while we're so busy envying, you know what I mean, man, I would never cheat on my spouse, and they have a spouse and they cheat on them every day. Why am I not married? Why don't I have a significant other? Don't worry about that. What's for you is for you. Don't spend so much time trying to make logic of it, make sense of it, why they have and you don't, etc., etc. So I really wanted to encourage you guys about that, and even applying that to like somebody that may have more what seems to be more accomplishments or what may seem to be more success, what may seem to come across as more accolades, a better business, or they make more money, and you're like, well, I hold a degree and I've done this, that, and the third, so why am I not as far as that person? But it's not for us to understand. You never know what that person's journey is or was, and what they went through to get to where they are, and whether it was a fast way or the worked hard and paid their due diligence. You don't know. But either way, it's okay, because keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing, sowing your seeds, and putting in the work and the blood, sweat, and tears, because you'll reap the benefits of it. And yours may take longer, but guess what? Your bang may be bigger when it finally comes. God will open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you couldn't even have room enough to receive. So be patient. Keep sowing those seeds, putting in the work, doing what you have to do, and not try to make sense of why yours may take longer. Looking at your neighbors, looking at your girlfriends, looking at your buddies or whomever. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep trusting the process. Walk by faith and not by sight. because your time will come. That's for sure. That's one thing we know for sure. We may not know when, but know that it's coming. Then, stop always looking at everybody on social media. Social media is overrated. We look at people and they're like, wow, they look amazing, they look happy, they look this. You can't even talk about whether somebody's pretty or not, for that matter, because sometimes we see people and it's photoshopped, it's snap pulled the waist in, all this kind of good stuff. So we spend so much time looking at other people, and then we're trying to make sense of why we are where we are, or why we're not where we need to be or should be or want to be. But trust the process, you guys. Keep doing whatever it is to work on your goals. Keep at it. Don't spend that time that you're spending questioning something else or trying to make sense of something else. It's time that you could be putting into your purpose and your passion, or what it is that you want for yourself. So that's time wasted, and you can't get that back. So another piece that I wanted to add on to it is I actually, it's so interesting. I had a conversation with a young lady last week, and I felt as if I was being very clear about conveying my message. I feel like communication is one of my strong suits, to be honest, but the message wasn't being received, or we wasn't on the same page. It was like I was telling her, hey, I'm selling apples and oranges, and she was just like, well, why do you want to sell bananas? And I'm like, man, is she not hearing me? And I was trying to really make logic and understanding of it. But sometimes that person is just not on the same level, on the same page, and they're not going to understand no matter how much you spell something out. And guess what? That's okay too. I had to learn that that's okay. It isn't that she is stupid and I'm smart, or I'm stupid and she's smart. It was none of that. It was just that person was not meant to understand my vision. She couldn't see my vision. My vision is meant for me. It was cut out for me and not for her to understand. And so I want to encourage you guys again to, like I said earlier, lean not unto your own understanding. Trust the process. Walk by faith, not by sight. Continue to sow. Continue to work in your purpose. Don't be so quick to chase the bag. Chase your purpose. Let me make sure you caught that, because that's important. Don't be so quick to chase the bag. Chase your purpose. The money will come. I promise you. The money will come. But chase your purpose. A lot of stuff that I do is do as in kind, or to sow a seed. The money and stuff comes after, but it can come much bigger. So I'll give you an example. So for my radio or some of the interviews I do, I might charge $75 to $150, just based on circumstances, location, etc., what all I need to do. And several of them I've done for free. Why did I not charge or make that money or whatnot? Because it was so many other things that was necessary or important to me and my purpose for me to capture that interview, regardless of the price, regardless of how much money that I was or was not going to make, because it gave me exposure, experience, and also added to help me build to my resume that was priceless. So they can keep the little $75, but at the end of the day, it landed me so much more in the long run, if that makes sense. For example, one in particular that I did last night on my radio show, I interviewed Clayton County's Chairman Jeff Turner. But I did that as an in-kind donation, but it landed me the position of being the exclusive media correspondent for his upcoming international ball. So I'm going to make more on the back end, if that makes sense. So again, don't be so quick to chase the bag. Chase your purpose. Go after what your passion is. They say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. If you do it for free, you're doing what you're meant to do. So if you're like, well, no, I won't get up to do that for free, you know what I mean? Then chances are that may not be your purpose. So sometimes we struggle with finding what our purpose is and whatnot. But in closing, I wanted to leave you with That is the direct message, to not be so quick to chase the bag and chase your purpose. But then also that why it was pressed on my heart. Two of my favorite books in the Bible are Proverbs and Psalms. So this one comes strictly from Proverbs. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It says in the Bible to trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. So sometimes again, you're not going to understand, you're not going to be able to make sense of it, but know that God's got you. Know that he'll never leave or forsake you. So if you walk by faith and not by sight, sometimes you'll get to places that you don't even understand, or like, well, how did I get here? How did I make it here? And it's nothing but God. You can't even take credit for it. Sometimes you can't even make sense of it. And I share that with people when I speak and in my book. You know, my life has been pretty incredible, the good, bad, and the indifferent. But I tell people all the time that I trusted the process. I truly trusted God, and I trusted the process. You know, I don't have a degree or any accolades, but God has walked through me and carried me through multiple businesses, multiple, climbing the corporate ladder and being a radio personality and excelling in media in such a short time. I can't even explain it. You know, some of the things that I do, I'm like, that's nothing but God. But I trusted the process. I never foresaw myself getting to some of it, but at the end of the day, God carried me through. He put me in front of people that at the time I didn't know why. But he had a plan, and he had it all mapped out. It's all predetermined. So we're along for the ride. So again, I just want to encourage you to keep pressing, keep pushing through. Don't look at your neighbor. Don't wonder why so much. You know, of course, we want to be logical to a degree, but at the end of the day, trust the process. Work on your relationship with God. Pray. Know that he'll order your steps. He'll direct your path. And everything else would be seamless. You'll look back and be like, okay, so that's why he removed that person out of my life. That's why he put me in front of that person. That's why he connected me there. It'll make sense on the back end. It may not all make sense right now, and that's okay. Trust the process. If you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me or email me at vonnieinthecity@gmail.com. But that's it for today. I'll definitely be coming on more often. I have kind of gotten away from doing my Facebook Lives, but I've truly missed it, and I've missed you all. And you all inspire me just as much as I inspire you. Keep doing what you're doing. Know that your time is coming, and you'll continue again to walk by faith and not by sight. Lean not into your own understanding, and everything else will fall right in place the way it's supposed to. Y'all have a marvelous Monday, and I look forward to seeing you all again on my next live. And please share the video, share it, and yeah, you never know who can benefit from what's on the video, who may need to hear the message or this, or a story or the example that I might have shared. So definitely share it, and you all be blessed. Have a great one, and I'll be back.